Hello, everybody. My name is Griselis Pulido, and I'm going to talk to you about an issue that is completely destroying Florida. So I want you to imagine that you're walking through the Florida Everglades and you realize that one of the biggest threats to native wildlife isn't even a native predator, but an invasive species that has completely taken over. Burmese pythons, massive constrictor snakes, are wreaking havoc on Florida's ecosystem, and their population only continues to grow. Burmese pythons are an invasive species that continue to pose a huge threat to native wildlife in Florida due to their rapid reproduction, their lack of natural predators, and their impact on the ecosystem. This issue affects all Floridians because the destruction of native species can throw the entire ecosystem off balance. Understanding the Burmese python crisis is crucial because it affects Florida's biodiversity, the economy, and even public safety, as you can imagine. Florida has been my personal home since I was 8. I care about the environment and the impact that native species have on our state. Using credible sources such as the Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission, or the FWC, and National Invasive Species Information Center, I'm going to provide you with factual information about this ongoing issue. Today, I'm going to inform you about the origin of Burmese pythons, their impact on Florida's ecosystem, and what efforts are being made to control their population. Firstly, according to the Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission, Burmese pythons were introduced to Florida through pet trade. So basically, people wanted exotic animals. People would buy these snakes and either let go of them intentionally because they weren't able to take care of them because they got too big or any other issue, or they escaped into the wild. The species is actually native to Southeast Asia, but it's thriving in Florida's warm and humid climate, allowing them to establish a breeding population. And this is all according to the National Invasive Species Information Center. So now that we understand how Burmese pythons has invaded Florida, let's look at their impact on native wildlife. Burmese pythons have significantly reduced populations of native species, including deer, raccoons, and wading birds, according to Animalia Bio. Let's look at what one of these snakes looks like. So this is a Burmese python here. It's climbing a tree. You see its colors. It allows it to camouflage supernaturally in our environment. This is a Burmese python eating a deer. The Burmese python has no predators here in Florida. Anything has been found in its stomach: gators, deers, raccoons, birds, and they can grow up to 23 feet with an average of 16 feet in length. That is a scary invasive species to have here. And studies have shown that in some areas of the Everglades, certain mammal populations have declined over 90% due to python predation. And this is according to the National Invasive Species Information Center. You don't have to trust me, trust them. So knowing the damage that these snakes can cause, let's explore what's being done to actually control their population. The Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission has actually implemented python removal programs, including the annual Python Challenge, which encourages Floridian hunters to remove these pythons from the wild. And researchers are still currently studying python behavior in order to understand how to control and limit their growth in population. They need to understand how this species works. So they're still developing new methods such as detection dogs, radio telemetry to track them and eliminate them. Again, with the National Invasive Species Information Center, they're currently doing more and more research as we're speaking about this Burmese pythons. So, understanding the threat of Burmese pythons is only the first step to help the impact on Florida's ecosystem. So, let's wrap this up. But unlike a Burmese python, not overstay our welcome in Florida's ecosystem. So, here today, I have talked to you about how Burmese pythons are an incredibly invasive species threatening Florida's wildlife. Their presence here in the Florida Everglades have led to a massive decline in native species because of their lack of natural predators, because of them thriving in this humid and warm climate. Efforts are currently in place to stop the growth of the Burmese python population. So, the Burmese python invasion serves as a tale of caution of how human actions can disrupt natural ecosystems. And it's up to us to stay informed and updated on these conservation efforts. Again, my name is Griselis Pulido, and I have brought to you this information about Burmese pythons for my oral communications class. And I hope that you guys have a great day and that you will think about Burmese pythons more in the future.